Hello, my name is Sarai Palmlöv and I'm one of the many English teachers here at Hermods, where you will study English 5. And to facilitate for you to write a book review, we have prepared this film. It's based on a PowerPoint presentation, so sometimes the text can be quite small if you have a small screen. Mine is gigantic, so for me it's easy to read. But therefore, we've also decided that you will be able to download the text besides, and that way you can read it on your own. But by looking at this, you will hear me explain how to do it. So what is the big difference between a summary and a book review? Most of you are really good at summarizing, but primarily the focus in a book report is to give an account of the major plot, the characters, and the main idea of the work. But regarding a book review, it's a little bit different. It is supposed to be a critical assessment of a book. You're supposed to describe and evaluate the quality and the significance of the book that you have read, and not just summarizing the contents. So remember, a book review is all about evaluation, while a book report is more or less a summary. So if you do this well, if you write a good book review, that will actually enable you to fulfill some of the criteria for English 5. The core contents is, as you probably know, it should be a little bit formal. You should be able to narrate, summarize, explain, comment, assess, give reasons for your opinions, discuss and argue. Don't worry, it's not as bad as it seems. And you're supposed to be able to write in a varied way. You should be clear and specific, and also follow a certain structure. And while doing this, you can also use, as it says, connectors, and you should show the time. I will explain further on, so don't worry, it's not as bad as it seems. It's a little challenging, but I hope it can really enable you. No, I don't hope. I'm sure you will succeed perfectly. So if we summarize this, in a book, if you can identify, you can summarize and explain. When you read the book, you can evaluate. What does it mean? Well, you explain, you comment, and you assess. And you also respond. This is an important thing. You give reasons for your opinions. You discuss and you argue for your opinions. So, if you use a varied language with complex sentences, this means that you don't just say, I think. No, you're going to vary the sentences a little bit and try to find the suitable vocabulary. What that really means, I'll show you in another film about formal English for this level. So, how to get started when you're going to write a book review? Well, first of all, before you even start reading it, make a few notes about what you expect to come across. Perhaps you can read a little bit about the book on the backside or on internet. So there you got the whole picture. Write it down someplace. And while you are reading, think about what would you like to tell your reader about? What is important? And at the beginning, you need to mention when you write it. So write that down. Who is the author? What is the title of the book? That should be presented in the first paragraph. And in each paragraph, you should present one point that you would like to make about the book. But don't write like 15 different paragraphs. That's not necessary. But you should emphasize why you have chosen this and what you would like to say about it. If you try to find a main theme of the book, you will find that it goes through in the entire book, and it's good to mention that. Because it should be something that your reader will find, aha, directly, it's about this or that. And furthermore, it's good if you can mention the genre. Is it a mystery? Is it fiction? Is it adventure? Is it a horror story? Or is it just simple romance or fantasy? It's also important to mention if you like or dislike the way the author has written the book. Do you find it funny? Do you find it serious? Do you appreciate the way he describes the characters? Why? Remember to say why. Say you're going to write it. And if you are able to, insert a few quotes to illustrate what you mean. It's not necessary at this level, but it's a good way of giving me, as your reader or somebody else, an idea what you mean when you say it, so it supports what you're saying. And make sure that this review really explains how you personally feel about the book and why, and not just focusing on what the book is about. I think most of my students miss out on that one. They talk so well about the book, but they forget to motivate and assess and discuss, and that can give you a higher grade, and it's good if you learn, because it should express your opinions, and it should persuade me as your reader to read it, or someone else. So do research about the author, incorporate what you learn into this review. Not much, perhaps just a little bit. I will show you 2 examples of really good book reviews. One of them is written with quite ordinary English, easy to understand. The second one is using formal English, but both of them are really good because they have brought in all of these points here. So you will learn more about that further on. Now I'd like to invite you to the next little film where we will see how you can choose the right book for you.